You were on the scene in Belsen as a young man.
Yes, I went with a group of medical students and we arrived in Belsen on May the 2nd, 1945, and I first went to the camp on May the 3rd. Himmler ordered the camp to be seeded on April the 11th in order to stop typhus, which was an epidemic spreading throughout Europe. The British came in, the tank division came in on April the 15th at 3 o'clock. And they did their best to segregate the typhus and the dying from the others.
How many people were in the camp at the time when the British took over the camp?
I think there were about 57 or 60,000. The British bombed everything and the Americans that moved on the roads. So that getting food there was extremely difficult. The water supplies became contaminated with sewage, and the administration in the camp more or less broke down.
Even, let's say, if the German camp administration had made maximum effort and had been given everything at hand, could they have prevented this?
There was no cure for typhus at that time. The British put DDT, which is an insecticide, over everything and everybody. And in that way, I think the typhus was contained. But it was a great danger. People don't realise it was typhus. I suppose 50-60% of people died who got it.
Why are these bodies naked? I mean, some of them are so emaciated. Why don't they have their clothing on?
Well, they did, and when they were pushed outside of the huts, they had clothing on, but clothing was so scarce, everything was scarce, that the inmates would immediately rush up and take all the clothing off because it was a pity to waste it. That's why they were naked.
Did you see, when you got there 2 weeks after the British Army took over, any evidence of gas chambers, the way propaganda has said that the Germans had in these camps, or was there any claim made to that effect?
No, I don't think it was ever thought that there was a gas chamber in Belsenberg. People were dying at 500 a day, by the way, rate of 500 a day.
Even under the British administration?
Under the British administration, yes. And what was happening was that the English soldiers were giving people their food, and people half starved and had very thin stomachs, and the stomach would burst and they'd die. The inmates said that conditions there